People, we are back on day 27, and I'm just gonna tell you, this one's gonna be a little hard, okay? But I need you guys to stay with me. I need you guys to wait till the end, all right? I'm saying it because I love you guys, and I just believe this is gonna set some people free, all right? So, Proverbs chapter 27. I am excited about this one, and we're gonna dive right into it. We're gonna talk about the lazy person. What is a lazy person and how do we get out of that? So here we go. We are in Proverbs. I'm gonna go back a little bit, okay? I'm gonna cheat. So I'm gonna go back to Proverbs chapter 26, verse 13. So I'm going back a little bit, all right? So here's what it says. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 13 through 16, because I didn't get through some of it yesterday. But it says this: the lazy person claims, "There's a lion on the road." Yes, I'm sure there's a lion out there. Like, I'm telling you, Proverbs 26 just had me cracking up. It's like, thanks, Captain Obvious. But that's what a lazy person does, is what he's saying. They point out the obvious, and they deliver it in a way like they should get some type of credit for it. Let's keep going. Verse 14. As a door swings back and forth on its hinges, so the lazy person turns over in bed. Like, get up. Get out of bed. Go do something productive. Look at verse 15. Lazy people take food in their hand, but don't even lift it to their mouth. Lazy people consider themselves smarter than 7 wise counselors. In other words, they act like they know more than other people, but they've actually done absolutely nothing with it. So I'm going to take this time to talk to the young adults here. All right. So like my 18 to 30-year-old people, please, 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 I need you to hear my heart when I say this. I'm saying this because I love you guys. And by the way, this is my opinion. Okay. So this isn't Bible. This isn't thus saith the Lord. This is my opinion. But I do want to, if I can, if you would allow me to, I want to pastor our young adults here. All right. When I hear young adults say, "I'm grown," there are 5 things, in my opinion, that it takes for you to say that you're grown. Okay. So here they are, very practical. I'm going to get very, very practical with y'all. All right. So here we go. Buckle up, buttercup. Let's roll. Number 1, do you have a job? And if you don't have a job, maybe you're in school, right? Maybe you're in college, grad school, great, all right? But number 1, do you have a job? Where are you in school? Number 2, do you have a car or a mode of transportation? Maybe you're in an area where you don't need a car, but you have your own way of getting your own transportation through public transportation, whatever that is, all right? Again, these are my 5 things and what I think it means to be grown. So number 1, you got a job or you're in school. Number 2, you got a car. Number 3, you pay your own bills. Hear me. You pay your own bills, all right? I'm talking like water, electricity, Wi-Fi. You're paying your own car note. Someone else is not paying it for you. Like, you pay your own bills. So we got job / school. You got your own means of transportation. You pay your own bills. Number 4, health benefits. You're taking care of your health benefits. You're not on someone else's. I got it. There's a season for that. That's fine. I did that, right? I did that all the way until I was 22, 23, something like that. All right? You got your own health benefits, medical, dental, vision, whatever that is. And the last one, home. You got a roof over your head, okay? I remember years ago, some of my coworkers, and for context, my coworkers were old enough where I was pretty much the same age as some of their kids. And there's about 3 of them having a conversation, and they were frustrated with just, what was going on in their household with their kids. And basically they're like, man, it's like, my kids won't do this, they're lazy, dad, and blah, blah, blah. And they basically said something about my generation. I'm a millennial. And they're like, you're a millennial generation, blah, blah, blah. They kind of went through the whole spiel. And I just stopped and looked at them and I said, here's just one thing you're leaving out. They went, what? And I said, I just have one question. Who raised us? Y'all. We don't like to talk about that part. And so here's where I'm going with it. Oftentimes, lazy people are lazy. You ready? Because we allow it. This is in any and every context. So parents, you might be tired of your grown children not acting a certain way. Leaders, you may be tired of your employee not acting a certain way. Friends, you may be tired of your friend not acting a certain way. Man or woman, you're in that relationship and you're tired of your partner or that individual not acting a certain way. Can I just ask you, are they acting a certain way because you've enabled them? We do it all the time. We do it all the time. When we talk about how we don't like the actions or the behavior of certain individuals, lots of times they act that way because the people around them have allowed that. So let's just bring it back to the thing I was talking about. Do they work? Do they have a plan? Are they hunkering down to save and look at doing investments along the way to get out of debt? And everything I talked about, those 5 things, what it means to be grown, I'm not talking about individuals who are in one of those just hard seasons in life right now. You had to dial it back. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about individuals where, maybe you had a health situation with your family. You've moved back in, you're trying to help them out. I'm not talking about that. Y'all know who you are. Some of us are in situations right now because we like the convenience of what we have. If you're staying with someone to save money, great. Here's my question. Are you really? Are you on a plan to knock out your student loans? Are you on a plan to knock out your car payment so you pay the car off as quickly as possible? Are you on a plan to knock out your credit card debt? Or is it something that you just say just to justify staying in your current lifestyle? When you think about the Garden of Eden, Adam worked. He named the animals and tended the garden. My man was the original shepherd, all right? Joseph worked. Moses worked. David worked. Jesus worked. The disciples worked. I feel like I just dropped a song, like work. Apostle Paul worked. I can keep going. But all these people, all the people of God worked. And so should we. Like, guys, it's hard for me to hear someone say, I'm grown, but then we can't even stand on our own 2 feet. I'm not saying there isn't a season for that. I'm not saying that there isn't the hard season where you're adjusting, right? And you're working to get your ways, to get your life going in order to stand on your 2 feet. I'm not talking about the folks who are staying with their parents or a family member because, again, you have a health situation, you want to help them out. I'm not talking about that because that is absolutely work. You are working, right? I'm not talking about folks who are actively receiving the 5 things that we talked about, but then they aren't doing anything to get out of the situation because they keep expecting others to do it for them, all right? But when we do that, guys, that's lazy. If you have a job and you're paying your own bills, but someone else is paying your car note, that's fine, but you're 40% there. Maybe you got a job paying your own bills and you got benefits in your own mode of transportation, but you don't have quite the roof over your head yet, meaning you're not doing it for yourself. Then you're 80% there. That's great, good stuff. But I just got to say, young adults, you're an adult, but there's a difference between being an adult and grown. If you're the one that has those type of people in your life, it's also your responsibility to say something and do something, which leads us to the next verses, Proverbs chapter 27, verse 5. And it says this, an open rebuke is better than hidden love. Wounds from a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. Here's what the New American Standard Version says. Better is open rebuke than love that is concealed. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but deceitful are the kisses of an enemy. Can I just ask you something? Is there someone that you care about, friend, colleague, child, parent, someone that you love that you got to tell them something hard, but you haven't because you're afraid of how they might act? Well, according to the Bible, and what we just read, that's called concealed love. Think about it. The enemy whispers the things that we want to hear in our ear. And he tells us the things that butters us up and makes us feel good about ourselves. But a true friend, a real friend, doesn't tell us what we want to hear. A true friend tells us what we need to hear. Anytime we don't share something because we're so afraid of how they'd respond, we're actually starting to project ourselves and make excuses as to why we shouldn't engage in a hard conversation when it can be the very thing that actually saves them. I'll never forget that when I first got stationed in Alaska, I was just like, oh Lord, like, why me? What did I do? And only to find out, of course, when I got there, April 20th was my report date. April 26th was the day I actually met my commander. And that's when I found out I was deploying. And I remember just thinking like, God, like, what did I do? Like, why is this happening to me? Remind you, I'm 4 months removed from college. I just graduated that December. And here it is April being told I'm going to Afghanistan. And that's what happened. I went July of 2011 that year. 6 months removed from college. I'm downrange in Afghanistan. And I just remember, I get it. Like, I'm having my human moment. Like, why would you do this to me? But this went on for a while. By a while, probably like, oh gosh, maybe a good 2 weeks, something like that. And GB just called me out and she was just like, babe, I get I get the overwhelm, but have you ever thought that the Lord also wants to use this to grow and do something in you? Essentially, I was having this victim mentality. I was having this, oh, poor me, like, why is this happening to me? And Juby had to gently correct me, you know? She had to bring this perspective of like the Lord is in control of this. And yes, even though you know you can deploy, like when you sign up for it, you know that going into it, it just happened a lot quicker than I anticipated. But I almost allowed that to just overtake my mind and really just feel sorry for myself. Look at Proverbs 27, verse 9. It says, the heartfelt counsel of a friend is as sweet as perfume and incense. Like when you think about someone who smells nice, so you ever greet someone and, you know, like it can be the guys too. Like there's certain guys, one of my good friends, Matt Tidwell, like that dude always smells good. And every time I see him, I give him, you know, the bro hug and I'm like, oh, it's just a great embrace because he just smells nice and he's just a great friend of mine. But that's how it actually should feel, right? When you embrace someone that smells good, that's actually what a heartfelt counsel is supposed to feel like when it comes from a friend. You just feel good after you've greeted them. That's what good counsel should feel like. It's this embrace that you should be excited to receive, like smelling a new perfume. And I'm going to get to a very famous verse that we've all, maybe not all, but many of us have heard. It's Proverbs 27, verse 17. It says this, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Like that's not just a casual statement, guys. Like this is applicable in this type of context. So when you think of a blacksmith that's making weapons, like two objects are colliding together. All right, there's these two big iron things, two big metal things, just sparking up against each other. Sparks are flying around. There's a force that's taking place. And when you think about how an axe or a knife becomes dull, you ready? Is because it stops hitting iron. So you may use an axe to chop wood or a knife to cut food, but an axe and a knife stays sharp because it's used against another piece of iron. They're constantly striking up against each other. Another way of saying it is the axe and the knife is only as good as the material it stays surrounded with. So question, who are you surrounded with? Are you iron that's only around wood, like people, or a knife that's only around fruit? Because you may have a need in that area, but are you going back to like-minded people to get what? Re-sharpened. Your growth depends on who you surround yourself with. So when your parents correct you, you're a grown child who may have actual great insight and wisdom, mom or dad brings insight to you, or when a leader or pastor corrects you, church and business owners, or when your employee or congregant brings up a legitimate concern, what's your response? And that brings us to our wise takeaway for today. Our wise takeaway is wise people are accountable people. They're not lazy. And to those who are lazy, do your loved ones have permission to call it out? Accountable people are not easily offended. Are you easily offended? I said our wise takeaway is that wise people are accountable people. What does accountability mean? And we've talked about this too before, but it's who has permission to tell you no. That's what Gerald Brooks says. It's who has permission to tell you no. When I hear people say, oh, I got a board of advisors and I got overseers or people in my life, I got mentors, I got checks and balances. Really? Like, can they tell you no? And when they do you listen to them? Or you just throw a fit? Just because you got bored just because you got a board or you got mentors, you got close friends, all that's great, but it doesn't mean anything unless they can tell you no and you follow through with that. You can have all the checks and balances, the overseers, the friends, the mentors, the families, the advisors, all that. That's great. I'm not saying to not do that, but that alone is not accountability. Like my closest friend in my life has permission to tell me no. My mentors, who are also pastors, have permission to tell me no. My wife, listen, husbands, does your wife have permission to tell you no? Wives, does your husband have permission to tell you no? If I'm doing something out of pocket and is not in alignment with God or his character or his word, Juby has absolute permission to gut check me on that. And guess what? Me with her. Like with all of them, I have permission to challenge my mentors and those close friends I see or hear them doing something I think is out of pocket. Like that's iron sharpening iron. They're coming to you because they love you. And that's our wise takeaway for today. Wise people are accountable people. And accountable people have people in their life that have permission to tell them no. Are you that person? Can you receive no's in your life? And can you tell others that you love no when they need to hear it? It's the humility to receive it and moral courage to speak it. All right? That is today. We got Proverbs 28, 29, 30, and 31. Man, 4 left. Time is flying by. Hope you guys enjoy this one. I will see you guys tomorrow. Later. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you guys have been enjoying this challenge. I want to hear from you. Post in the comments below and let me know what your greatest takeaway is. And please do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe because it really helps the channel get noticed. Love you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.